guys, today we're going to be looking at the Slices app for Twitter and Facebook for the Google Android operating system. The app is going to be reviewed on the Google Nexus 10, which has a beautiful 2560 by 1600 LCD panel on a 10-inch screen. It's great for viewing any types of media, especially Twitter, images, and anything else like web browsing. So we're going to be looking at Slices. It's a relatively new app for Twitter. And we're going to start off by examining some of the widgets that are available for the home screen on Android. On the top left we have a Compose widget, which allows us to simply compose a new tweet. On the top right here we have a Photo widget, which allows us to create a new tweet, post a photo from the camera, or go to our gallery and select an existing photo to upload to Twitter and Facebook. On the bottom left we have a widget that allows us to view tweets, and we can source this widget from a variety of sources. If we click on the Slices icon on the widget, we can examine our slices that are set up in the application, or we can do mentions, or we can do bookmarks. And these searches and this user have already been bookmarked in the app. We'll talk about that more in a minute. So let's go ahead and just choose a search, and then we now have an updated source of tweets, and you can simply use the up and down arrows to kind of page through the tweets and view them without actually having to enter the app. It's pretty convenient. We also have a Compose button on there, so as you can see it's very easy to compose a new tweet from any of those three widgets. So if we fire up the Slices app, let's start looking at a couple of the new features. First, we've got the Explore feature, which allows us to kind of go through some categories here. We've got humor, celebrities, TV and movies, music, and we can see some featured users from these various categories. Now, if you're like me, you probably don't really care about the super popular people on Twitter, but maybe you do, and that's okay, and this is a great way to find a bunch of new users to follow. You can also kind of dig into some subcategories that Slices has provided to you out of the box. But personally, I kind of like to find more individualized users by using a search term and then just trying to find people who tweet commonly about similar topics. So with that, we'll kind of look at the bookmarks down here. This is where we had in the widget the ability to choose a search or a user or a list and use that as the source for the widget. So if we want to create a new bookmark for, let's say, a user, what you can do is just find any user, and let's do a quick search. We'll just say Android as a search, and see how we've got the Android trap here? Well, let's say that we're really interested in this user. All we have to do is click on the user's icon, and that brings up a little submenu that allows us to see their profile, bookmark, mention, or zip them up. And we'll talk about the zipper in a little bit more detail. But if we simply happen to hit the bookmark icon, it'll say users bookmarked. Now we can go back to our Slices home screen and scroll down and see that the Android trap has been bookmarked. So that's a very easy way to get fast access to information if there's somebody that you're commonly interested in, and we'll also do the same thing with a list. So we'll go to my profile, go to lists, go to Android Dev, which is one of my lists, and if you simply click on this menu up here, you can say add to bookmarks. Okay, so now the list has been bookmarked. You can come back over here, scroll down, and we can see that this Android Dev list has been bookmarked. Again, if we go back to the widget, tap on the Slices icon for the widget, we'll see that we have that new user and that new list bookmarked. So all we have to do is tap on that, and now we've got a brand new source for our widget. So the next thing we'll look at is how to filter the timeline by a search term. This is a really convenient feature that's rather unique to Slices as far as I know. So if you're in your timeline, or if you're in any of your other screens like your Slices, you can actually filter by hitting the menu button up here, clicking search, and then you can simply search for a term such as, let's say PowerShell, It's a technology I work with. We'll hit tweets because we want to search for tweets. And down here we can filter whether we want to look at all of Twitter, just in your timeline, in your mentions, in your favorites, in all of your tweets, your personal tweets, or near your current location. So there's kind of the ability to categorize the scope of what you're looking for, and then whether you're looking for people, lists, or tweets. So this is a really convenient thing as well, and there's also a bookmark icon down here if you want to bookmark that search. So we'll bookmark that search, and again come back here, and as you can see we've got PowerShell in timeline bookmarked. So very, very easy way to filter data. The next feature I want to look at is called zipping, and this is really handy because if you're getting tired of seeing a particular hashtag in your timeline or a particular term, you can actually block that out. You can also block individual users from your timeline without actually unfollowing them. So in the Slices app, what we would do to zip somebody is, let's say that this guy is kind of bothering us and we're tired of hearing from him. Actually, let's go back to the timeline first. Let's say we're in timeline and we don't want to hear from this particular user for the time being. What you can do is click on this little zipper button, and this will bring you to the zip it screen. Now you can zip users and you can zip hashtags and keywords. So let's say that we wanted to block the keyword PowerShell from my timeline. So let's go ahead and do that. Hit OK. We'll check the box for that saying yes, we want to zip that up, and then hit OK. And as you can see, we have this little zipper picture that shows up within our timeline very seamlessly, but if there's any tweets that match that particular criteria, they'll get zipped up and hidden from view so as to make it easier to kind of filter through data in your timeline. Again, you're not unfollowing the user, you're just kind of zipping up that term temporarily, and when you're ready to unhide it, all you have to do is tap on it and say, I want to unselect that zip so it's not filtering anymore, and then simply hit OK. So that's a really great way to kind of filter data. I will mention one kind of quirk that I don't really like is that when you hit the Manage Bookmarks and you want to remove one of your bookmarks, you're cleaning up this screen. On the tablet, when you click on the Manage section, it goes to portrait mode even when you have your view locked. As you can see, I've had the rotation locked to landscape. So when you exit that screen, thankfully it does come back, but it's kind of an irritating thing on the tablet version of the application. On a phone, I could see that being less of an issue since phones are most commonly used in portrait mode. Another feature I'd like to look at are the statistics, and this is a pretty unique feature to Slices, and if you go in the home screen to My Stats, you'll see that you have Timeline, My Tweets, and Others. So you can actually get some really interesting statistics about your own tweets to see who you've mentioned the most in your tweets, who you've direct messaged the most, whose tweets you've favorited the most of, and how often you tweet. So it gives you a day-by-day breakdown of how much you're tweeting. You can see there's sometimes breaks in tweeting if you don't have any. And it just really helps to kind of see what your activity is like. You can also view information about other people's tweets and tweets that are within the scope of your timeline. So as you can see, this is very useful information as you're browsing Twitter. If you want to upgrade to the Pro version, you can pay $4.99. It's an in-app purchase that's non-refundable. So you can do that very seamlessly. And if you want to share the app with friends, say, hey, Slices is really cool, you have the ability to tweet, Facebook, or email a link to them. And as far as Facebook integration goes, I'll also call out that there's the ability to post to Facebook, but you can't view any information from Facebook. So if you want to compose a new tweet, you can go to your timeline. Oops. Actually, we can do that from right here too. And then you simply hit New Tweet, and you can tweet it out, and there's a little Facebook icon right down here. Now, if you don't have Facebook already configured, it'll ask you for permission to post to your Facebook account. But once it is, all you have to do is tap that icon, enable it, and you're ready to go. So I think that's about everything I really wanted to cover with the Slices app, and it just crashed. But I hope you guys liked that overview of it, and definitely give it a shot. try out the widgets and see if you like them, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.